All right, good evening to you, wherever you're watching us from, and a warm welcome. Remember, this is Destiny TV, a station that impacts your life, and you are watching Boresha Show. And remember, my name is Kennedy Mushira. And in the previous episodes that we've been having, we've been discussing a number of things that concern you as a farmer and even you as a consumer. And still today is not an exception. We are still discussing, and remember that we are live on Facebook. You can follow us there, interact with us there, interact with us even via the Twitter and other social media platforms at Destiny TV Kenya. And you can also follow the past episodes via the Facebook page, Destiny TV Kenya. And we've been handling quite a number of things. And remember that we always visit you in the farm and interact with you, learn more, and then bring the same knowledge to those who are watching Destiny TV. And also remember that some people were asking, how can we feature in Trevision Stories? Remember that you can still call us by the number that is on your screen, and we'll come to visit your farm in case you need some extension services. We will always come and see the kind of farming you are doing in your home. And today we are going to learn more about urban gardening, or what we call urban gardening techniques. And a time like this, all of us, we are at home, and we need to learn the importance of embracing farming. And we always say in Boresha Ukulima that embrace farming, feed a nation. So today, even as we discuss more on urban gardening techniques, remember that you are supposed to keep safe. You are supposed to keep safe because this disease is there, and all of us, we are supposed to take the necessary measures. We stay at home and do some farming. Of course, farming is very important. Instead of you staying at home and you are there, you're not doing anything constructive, make sure that at least you do some farming. And today I've prepared and I've lined up much for you, so stay tuned and we are going to learn more. Now, and I'll take a question to you, and please interact with us by the number that is appearing on your screen and other social media platforms, as I had told you. And the question today is, why do you think it is important? Why do you think we need to embrace urban techniques? Why do you think it is important for us to embrace urban gardening techniques? And one of those techniques, even as we continue discussing, it's that of sack gardening. Sack gardening, or what we call bag garden. What is that? These are vertical farms or vertical gardens where the sacks, as you can, I believe that the director has projected that screen for you, as you can see. And that image on your screen, you can see, when it comes to sack gardening, this is whereby you take a sack, you fill the sack with the soil, you fill the sack with stones, you fill the sack with manure, and once the sack is ready for you to plant, remember you have to make some holes around the sack and then plant the crop that you are that is in question according to you. And one thing I would love you to understand about sack gardening is that it is very easy to construct. Why? Because what you need, the materials I've mentioned them. You need stones, you need soil, you need manure, you also need the crop that you want to plant. And just when you have all those, at least now you'll have a complete sack garden. So what you do, there is a pipe, you insert pipe at the center of that sack, then you fill that pipe with the stones. Why stones? Stones, they help to, once you do watering, water will penetrate to all the corners of that sack. So after you've inserted that pipe, then you fill the pipe with stones. They are at the center, that is it. Then you'll mix a third of the soil with the manure, mix the soil with the manure, then fill the sack with that media. After that, compact that sack well. Make sure that the sack does not fall, the sack is strong. Then make some planting holes on that sack. And as you can see on your screen, the sack garden is complete. You can decide to do spinach, you can decide to do Swiss chard, you can decide to do some sukuma wiki and all that kind of crops that you prefer. Another garden technique I would love us to learn today is that of a bucket or a basin. As you can see on your screen, bucket or basin garden, this basically whereby you can buy a bucket. Once you buy a bucket, you come, and there's something that I would love you to understand even as we move on discussing all this, because the procedure is almost the same, but I would love you to understand one thing. When I talk of a media here, I mean the media you're using to raise your crops, to plant your crops. Media can be a soil media or can be a soilless media. Soil media, all of us know about soils. We will be having a topic to discuss more on soils and crop nutrition. Soil, you take the soil, you obtain the soil from the source that is near to you, then you that is the soil media. Soilless media, this involves things like cocoa peat, peat moss, sphagnum moss, rice husk, or even sawdust and other media. Those are called soilless media. These are the media that you can use to plant your crops without necessarily using the soil. And most of us have interacted with that, but most of us prefer to use cocoa peat and peat moss. Well and good, it's their choice, and that it's okay, because it is mostly found in our agrovet and other places or that concerns themselves with the issues of farming. So you can go acquire maybe like cocoa peat or peat moss, mix it. You know, this media is neutral. The media requires nutrient. Therefore, it is very important for you to consider applying fertilizer. You can, that's why I'm mentioning of you using manure. You can as well mix with the fertilizer. But of course, if you're doing some organic farming, because most of us, there are those of us that love organic farming kind of it, you can decide to use plant tea or some other organic manure. But if you're not interested in organic or inorganic, you're okay with any, you can as well mix with some fertilizer. So when you talk of bucket garden, you can acquire bucket, you can buy a bucket as well. You can use the one which is in your home. Maybe it is broken, maybe you no longer use that. You can decide to put that into use. Therefore, fill that bucket with the media. Ensure, I told you the procedure is almost the same. Ensure you have the right media, ensure you have the stones, ensure you have some sand and soil as well, and the crop that you want to plant. Once you have all those, you'll be able to construct such a beautiful garden that as you can see on your screen. And there are a lot of people that have been sending me messages appreciating the kind of a teaching that we are doing, we as a Destiny Media. And I've been seeing a lot of people embracing farming just at their doorsteps. Like there's a picture you can see there on a basin, a garden. That's a farmer who lives in Nairobi. He took the containers, what you call vibuyu in Swahili. He cut off the top, filled those containers with soil and manure, then he planted some spinach. As you can see, it's such a beautiful garden, and it doesn't require such a big space. It's just a small space. It's just a small space that is needed. Then make sure that you water regularly, but don't overwater, because once you overwater, at times even the nutrients that are available in the soil might even the water will overflow, and the nutrient might as well might overflow as along with the water. So it's very important. You can even use any other container to raise. Even as you can see on screen, there's another image there on a person who used a Sprite bottle. All of us knows this Sprite bottle, and all of us love taking soda. You know, there's that at times you always go to the maybe to the dustbin, throw a lot of waste there. You find there are a lot of bottles there. I always tell people farming is not an exception. Farming is always everywhere. Farming is everywhere. The challenge is that you've not taken a step to embrace farming. Therefore, you can go collect those bottles on that maybe from that dustbin if need be. You can as well maybe collect those bottles along your compound. Instead of disposing them, why don't you put them into use? You can see there's such a good spinach on that screen. That spinach is it was planted on a Sprite bottle, Sprite soda. You see, after the person consumed the soda, he never disposed the bottle. By watching Boresha Ukulima Show, you are being encouraged to embrace farming. And that guy went ahead, he planted Swiss chard, or what you call spinach, on that bottle. And the garden is beautiful. You can do it as a form of aesthetic purpose, or you can also do it as a hobby. It's both consumption, aesthetic purpose, and all that. It depends on you. So you can use any container as long as it's you want to embrace farming. Then another gardening technology I'd love us to talk about is that of polythene bags or net. And I believe the director has projected that for you. The net, you see, there is a net that is perforated. It is perforated, and they are sold in the agrovet or any other shop that is concerned with the issues to do with farming. You can as well acquire that kind of a net in those places. So in that net, it is perforated, and you don't have to make holes for planting maybe sukuma wiki or whatever you want to plant. So that net, you just apply the same procedure. You need to have the soil or the media that you want to use. Of course, the soil here is the best because it is not costly compared to other media. Like for example, let's say you want to go and buy some cocoa peat. You want to plant some sukuma wiki in that net. The cost of you buying cocoa peat is very expensive compared maybe using soil as a media. It's upon you. Anyway, if you have some money, you can go and buy cocoa peat or peat moss. But remember, in agriculture, we always encourage you to embrace techniques that don't cost you a lot of money, the techniques that you can save as well. Those techniques will make you produce a better yield, good yield. You know, you can as well maybe embrace some techniques that will save you money, but indeed there's no return. Therefore, you need to embrace those techniques that will help you improve and increase production in your farms. And that's now, when I talk of that net, I told you the procedure of filling that container. And after filling, then you need to water and then plant the crop that maybe the crop according to your preference. Another, maybe on the same, you can use, that is the polythene bag. At times, we always buy, maybe we've done some shopping, maybe in one of the supermarkets, and after that we dispose the shopping bag. That shopping bag can be put into use. You can fill the media there and other materials there, and then you have your garden. So don't waste anything. Everything can be turned into agriculture. And that's why I always tell you that agriculture is beautiful. Agriculture is very much interesting. Agriculture is easy to do even at your doorstep. And on the same, there are those papers that are used by those wamama wa vibanda. They usually use those papers to shade themselves. You can decide, instead of using for that purpose, to bring them into farming. You make sure that that paper, it is circular. You can even decide to do a square one or a rectangle one, depending on you. But the ones which are available in the market for that purpose are the circular ones. But as well, you can use a stapler. You can use any other method that you can use to put that paper into the best shape that you want to be. Then you have your garden there. Another thing I would love us to focus on as a technology is the technology of a wooden box. It's another, you see, those people live in Nairobi. Because I know all of us, we are watching, even those who are from outside Kenya, Tanzania, even other countries, East Africa, Africa, and other continents. I know you are following, and I'm not limited in Kenya, but because we are doing this in Kenya, allow me to focus more on in Kenya. So, for example, the capital city of Kenya is in Nairobi, and people in Nairobi, they are referred the people who live in urban areas, and those people, they don't have shambas, they don't have those big plot they can put agriculture into use. No. They really don't have that big space. So what they do is they can embrace these kinds of technology we are talking about today. And this technology of wooden box, as you can see on your screen, you can use any material. For example, you can use mahogany, you can use cedar, or any other type of a tree to bring forth the timber. After that, then that wood, you construct a square one, you can construct a rectangle one, or a circular if it's possible. You can do that. It depends on you. So that wooden box, what you do, some people, you see, agriculture is an art and a science, remember from the definition. So because agriculture is an art and a science, therefore some people do manifest their artistic nature through that. What do? They go and develop some models of wooden boxes. Like, for example, instead of just doing a simple one, some people would maybe construct a wooden box. On top of it, they put another design and that design. So when you come to their garden, as you can see on your screen, there are quite a number. And those are the kind of technologies I'm talking about, wooden box. They are very, 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 very interesting. They look beautiful. Once you visit someone's compound, they are the first impression you can see. And on the same, and I would have to talk about the pyramid garden. What is a pyramid garden? Pyramid gardens, these are the gardens that utilize the vertical service, the vertical space, or rather. For example, as you can see on your screen, that garden, there are various ways of constructing gardens. You can construct a pyramid garden using liner papers. You can as well construct using the kind of iron sheet material. As you can see, that one of a strawberry there. It is one of a pyramid garden, and there is a sprinkler there. You can see that there is that pyramid garden looks beautiful. As well, you can decide to use a paper. You see, farming, it depends on you as a farmer, what is affordable to you. For example, maybe iron sheet materials are affordable to me. I can put them into use and construct such kind of a pyramid garden, as you can see. Then for the farmer who not be able to afford that kind of a material, can use liner papers. So the garden, you can see there is another garden, pyramid garden there, that is constructed using liner papers. So you feel the procedure is the same. You fill the media, make sure that it has some nutrition so that the crops will be able to absorb that for their growth. and you'll be in a better position. And that kind of you can see there is that garden we constructed in Jomo Kenyatta University of Science and Technology, and it's such a beautiful garden, and I took a picture of that, and at least you can see the importance of that garden. It looks beautiful. The garden, you're able to maybe even you can even decide the lower part of it, maybe that place you plant maybe some sukuma wiki, on top you plant some coriander, on top you plant some lettuce and all that. Remember, and in such kind of a garden, if you're doing organic farming, you can intercrop very well. You can put some coriander. Coriander has such aroma, and that aroma is it is used in organic farming as a repellent to some pest. Maybe the Ubeliferae family, that is the coriander, parsley, and all that dill, all that family, it has such aroma. When the pests come, maybe they want to, maybe for example, there are some pests that invade like a crop like sukuma. If you alternate sukuma wiki and some coriander, it means that you will have already scared away, you've already repelled away those insect and pests. Therefore, it's very easy to construct. And you can also send your question. You can ask us anything via the number that is appearing on your screen. Interact with us and we will help you construct such. Then there's another garden, even before I come to reading your comment. As I can see here, I would love to talk about the last technology, that is a vertical garden. Vertical technique, as you can see on your screen, those are the pipes. Some people use different materials, as I had mentioned earlier. You use different materials to bring forth a garden. Some people use plastic pipes. Some other people use the gutter. You know the gutter that you use to harvest rainwater. So, that they are made of iron sheet materials. It depends on your preference and whatever is available to you. For example, on the screen, you can see there's that image of a vertical garden. That vertical garden, as you can see on your screen, the farmer used pipes, plastic pipes. Those pipes, what you do, you can decide to cut into two parts, then fill the media and plant. Some people don't do that. Some people do make planting holes on that pipe, then they fill the media. After that, they make sure that toward the edge, maybe okay, assume this is my pipe. Towards the edge of that pipe, they put a lid, and the other edge they put a lid. Therefore, they fill the media inside there, and you are able to water that garden of yours, and even allow excess water to evaporate in the atmosphere, excess water to move from that garden. So it's very, very important you observe that as well. Don't overwater. And in those urban technologies, the usage of water, it is minimal. So there's no, it doesn't require that huge amount. You must have a lot of water. You must have like a dam. No, you don't have. It requires small amount of water, and therefore a lot of waste. Some people don't understand that. They end up making a lot of waste in the nutrient, because you overwater the garden, then the nutrients they are leached. Therefore, the crop lacks enough nutrients. Therefore, you really need to understand how that garden is constructed. You just you suspend those gutters or pipes along the walls of a building. For example, maybe you're watching and you're living in a flat. Behind that flat of yours, you can suspend some pipes and gutters and fill the media there, plant your coriander, plant your skuma, plant your anything, any crop that you want to do. And it's very, very, very easy to construct. And I asked you a question Why do you think it is very important for you and for me to embrace this kind of techniques? And I can see there's a lot of comments that are coming in. And a friend of mine says that my name is Paul Kimani from Kawangware, Nairobi. Urban has a great advantage of using less amount of land, hence can be practiced even in some highly populated areas. Very well. Also, farmer has much control over the condition and can easily establish a microclimate. That's very, very true. So Paul Kimani says that, for example, he comes from Nairobi, Kawangware. So, for example, I told you, in that flat of yours, you see, there's one house here, another one there. It's a large populated area. And a land for you to do farming, it is limited. Therefore, the place you are, you can utilize that. You can suspend if maybe those gutters or pipes and so on, and then you bring farming just right at your doorstep. That's why he's saying that there's a big advantage of using less amount of land. So the land used is not a big one. It's a very small space, and those highly populated areas can be used. And thank you so much, Paul. You can also provide some microclimate, as he says, and thank you so much, Paul, for that. I really appreciate that. And even as we break for some minute, we shall come back, learn more, and there are some videos that I would love us to watch on some of the technologies, because ever since we've been talking about agriculture technology, and I would love us to watch some clips over there, even as we take a small break, and we'll come back to analyze more on that importance of these urban gardens. And the first video I would love us to watch is that harvest the modern chicken. It's a modern technology of harvesting chicken. So director will show us that video. Don't go far. Watch that video, and I'll be right back after the video. Thank you. thank you very much. And for that, I believe that we've seen that technology of harvesting the chicken. And in agriculture, there's a lot of technologies and there's a lot that you can learn. Once you embrace technologies, one, you're assured that there is improvement and there is increase of production. For example, so many people, they don't know how maybe to construct structures for their chicken. They don't know how to construct some places where the chickens can lay their eggs. Some people, they don't know how to construct structures for their cows. Some people, they don't know how to construct structures for their pigs. But in Boresha Ukulima Show, this will bring these things just where you are. We teach you and we educate you. We allow you to learn more. And as I can see some messages that are coming in, Stylish says, okay, aje bro, niko ndani ya Boresha Ukulima Show hadi tamati. Stylish, the one and only. Stylish says that she's in and she's watching the show and she will continue to watch up to the end of the show. Thank you very much, Stylish, for keeping Destiny part of you. And remember as well, before we went for a break, I had asked you a question. Why, okay, it is posted in our Facebook media platform, why do you think we need to embrace urban gardening techniques? Remember, you can comment via the text box that is on the Facebook page. As well, you can interact with us via the number that is appearing on your screen. If you can SMS via the WhatsApp or directory through that number that is appearing on your screen. Tell us where you are, tell us who you are, and where you're watching from. Then give us the reason why you think it is very important for us to embrace those urban gardening techniques. And we've seen a lot of pictures in the first part before we went for a break, and those are the technologies that maybe you've tuned in and you've not understood. Those technologies I'll mention and then try to analyze depending on the way you're bringing in your feedback. And those technologies we've talked about, we have the sack technology, where that is where we use a sack. You can also, there's another technology, that over tire technology. But one thing I would love us to understand over tire technology, tire is not mostly used. It has a lot of questions because people say that tire, after some time, it starts degrading. It has some chemicals, and there is that leaching of chemicals to the environment. Therefore, the tires, they look beautiful once you have the garden of a tire. Some people even do paint the tire and produce such a good design and a pattern. But you really have to understand that tire, so many people have controversies. Some people have questions and all that. That's why I told you that tire has a lot of questions, and it's not okay. It's not very much recommended for you to use it as a garden, but as well, just do more research on the same, and you see whether it's okay for you. Another technology I talked about is that of a bucket or a basin, and the other technologies I talked about is that of a polythene bag or a net, wooden box, vertical gardens where you construct your garden upwards and all that. They utilize the atmosphere part of it. And thank you for that because you're keeping on learning. And there's a friend of mine, and I'm seeing there's a message that I saw a question here. He was asking how can you acquire those materials. I told you it's very easy for you to acquire those materials. Go to an agrovet or any other farm or any other place that is concerned with the agriculture issues. For example, if you visit, you're in Nairobi, there are a lot of a lot of places, a lot of agrovet that you can visit. There's a lot of institutions, there's a lot of places. If you're in Nakuru, there are a lot of colleges that you can visit where they are doing such kind of a pyramid gardens, and consult them, they will help you. There's also a lot of companies that deal with those things. You talk to us, we will connect you with them, and you'll have your garden as you've seen in the first part before we went for a break. And something else, and I would love us to learn even as we close at the Boresha show for today, is on the importances of these technologies. Why do we have to embrace these urban gardening technologies? And Paul Mbugua had mentioned to us before. He said that he talked about the issue of large utilization, and he talked about the space. So when you embrace these gardening, urban gardening technologies, you increase food security. You see, food security is having access to food, and you have enough food to eat today and even tomorrow. And remember, when we were in the episode that we handled agriculture and food security with Dr. Dambura, I believe that you learned a lot on the same. You can refer to that video and you'll be able to learn more on food security. So food security is having enough food. You can access that food. You have that food to eat today and even tomorrow. Remember that all of us, we're in this mood of COVID-19. We are telling you every time that keep safe, take the necessary measures, stay at home, stay safe. And the reason why we always tell you to stay at home and stay safe is because this disease, we've seen the way it is affecting a lot of areas. And one of the areas that have been, all the sectors and all the areas have been greatly affected. But in the area of agriculture, like we said last time, the crops are crying. There's no market. There's no market for our crops. There's no market for the produce that our farmers are producing. And we were asking, where do we take our crops? You can watch that episode in the past. We handled that with Madam Beth, and I do believe that you learned a lot. So the issue of COVID-19, it is affecting all of us. Yes, true. But even as you continue to stay at home, ensure you stay at home and do some farming. Why don't you take that jerry can that is not being used, cut it into 2 pieces, cut it well, feed the media, plant an onion. You've seen some people are using bucket to plant onions, to plant strawberries. You've seen a lot of harvest. People are producing a lot of tomatoes in those containers. Why don't you embrace that? It's very easy for you to construct that. What is required of you is to obtain any container that you need and then prepare. You'll have a smart garden. Therefore, one importance we've talked about is that of it increases food security, and therefore you have a nutritious food. You have food just on your doorstep. At times, we always say that you go to buy some items in the market, but you find that those items, they are the people who produce or the places they are produced are not favorable. So even you producing your own product or produce, it's very, very, very important for you. You'll have a nutritious food and safe food. Another importance that it creates a sense of belonging. For example, if you come to my house and find from the gate, there's a kitchen garden there. There is that urban technology. I've done some vertical gardening there. I own that thing. Even when you as a viewer comes to my home and I want to show you that it will give me the sense of belonging. I'm a farmer. I feel motivated by this garden kind of a technology. Then it gives you the sense of belonging. Again, it produces healthy food you can respect. I told you, some people are somewhere, they were complaining, they sent me a text message. They told me that we were talking about the food security, and people are complaining about farmers who produce crops near a sewage. some produce are not good for us to consume, but we say that all of us, we need to be genuine. Let's take the genuine commodities to the market, and people will appreciate that, and all of us will respect that. Therefore, if you produce your own crops, you'll have that respect for those commodities, and you'll have the sense of belonging. Another importance is it provides learning opportunity. Like now, all of us, we are learning. Once you construct such a maybe a tire garden, or you construct a bucket garden, or a vertical garden, or a sack garden, it is an opportunity for you to learn on how to do it better. Like the first person to do a sack garden, maybe he used you see that sack that is made of sisal. Maybe he used that sack. Someone else came and used another material. So it gives you a platform for you to learn and to bring more ideas that you can better that kind of a farming. Like a pyramid garden, it was just done very simple, or rather using dumbliners paper. But now people have embraced some other materials like iron sheet materials, like wood. They also used as a pyramid garden materials. Another thing is it makes efficient use of land. Maybe, for example, Paul talked about the land that we have. It's limited, and therefore by doing a vertical garden, it utilizes the vertical service, the vertical space. Therefore, you save place, you save your land, and in the places where land is a limiting factor. Therefore, you'll have a lot of space. You'll have a lot of production by utilizing those small things. And again, as well, allow me, even as we wind up, allow me to read some other comment here. And okay, when you're texting, kindly use some words that we can understand, all of us. Even for those who are watching, they will be able to understand those words. And don't shorten words so much. Don't use ones that we don't understand well. And thank you so much for that. And I would love to tell you one thing, that agriculture is the way to go. Agriculture is the way to go. Once you embrace farming, you'll feed a nation. Remember, we believe in that. And thank you for those who have been embracing farming. And I've been seeing a lot of people, Meru County embracing farming, Nairobi County, Nakuru people embracing farming. And that has been a great desire to all of us as a Boresha and Destiny Media Connections to see you improve your farming. Some farmers in Meru County and have benefited a lot. And there was a farmer who was asking me about the poultry production. And thank you very much, because now the farmer is celebrating the extension services that he got from Destiny TV. And that's why I always tell you, keep on tuned to Destiny TV, because Destiny cares for you. Every sphere of life. If you talk about the relationship issues, there are topics and there are shows that motivate you on the same and educate you on the same. There are also maybe if you talk about the economic part of it, I'm here to tell you more about agribusiness. That's why the Boresha Ukulima Show is here to help you understand the best enterprise to venture into, so that you may continue to earn money. If you're doing farming, not just a shoddy farming, but you have a good farming, because Boresha Ukulima helps you to become a meliorated farmer, an improved farmer, not just doing things kienyeji way, but you're doing them with a lot of efficiency, with a lot of knowledge in it, so that you may improve sufficiency and sustainability in agriculture. Oh my God. And thank you very much, because some of us have used some other ones that even are confusing me and making it so hard for me to pronounce sustainability. And thank you very much for that. And remember, on Saturday we shall still be here with a lot of knowledge and with a lot of things that we've lined up much for you. So keep tuning to Destiny TV. And my name is Kennedy Mushira. Let's meet next week on Saturday. And remember, before we close, remember that whenever you have a question, whenever you have any other concern, if you want us to visit your farm, you can as well. If you need a planting guide, talk to us via the number that is on your screen. SMS, WhatsApp us, go to the Facebook page, like, and tell us anything that you wish us to do for you. And Bishop appreciate this a lot. And be sure that he always follows what you comment and what you always say about Destiny TV. Thank you very much. Have a good evening and a good night.